Anything you put your mind to, you accomplish. And you never back down, cause you deserve it. The light shines in you, cause you're the realest. And you walk by faith, you're optimistic. You inspire me, girl, you inspire me. You're so inspirational. Inspirational.
Hello, welcome back to You're Inspirational. I'm your host, Wamikia Sturdivant, and today I have with me Brittneyjacksonrivers. Hello, hello.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So she's a real estate mogul, soon to be, and so, she's a mother, first lady, a wife. So I just wanted to sit down with her, chat it up, and just, see what's going on in her life. So let's talk about being a pastor's wife. She's a first lady, so I just always always wonder how hard it is to be a first lady, because I know you have to deal with a lot, and also you have to pray a lot because your husband's going to be facing a lot. The devil's always after the man of God. So
right. So starting off, it was a little challenging, trying to balance with the kids, marriage life, and also ministry. But I always say, ministry. Or the head, and then, God, and then family, and of course, ministry, all that falls under that umbrella. But first, it was just trying to get everything balanced when he started off in the ministry. It did take a lot of praying because people expect when you're first lady or a pastor, but I'm speaking for first lady, that you have to dress a certain way, you have to fall under this umbrella, you have to just be this person that make no mistakes, or
perfect.
So I learned to get away from religion and do it more naturally. God knows your heart. Just reach the people where they are. And basically by doing that, they're just basically being transparent, just being real, just being, not trying to be like this other first lady or this other pastor's wife. Just be you.
Yeah.
And lead how God telling you to lead.
Yeah. And so as a first lady, and then trying to have a job, how is that coming under the ministry? Do you tie everything together?
I do.
Okay, how do you do that?
And so when I was working, God kind of told me, I wasn't able to attend Bible study or be there, but I had to do it in a way that was more mobile. And of course, with COVID hit, that changed a lot of things too. But before getting back out, God allowed me to leave my 9 to 5, be taken away from the desk, and just do ministry full time. And that's how I was led into real estate.
Okay, so real estate. Now, I took the test and I failed. Now, how did you work towards passing that test and just really studying and retaining that knowledge? Because I know a lot of people who go after real estate, and it's kind of it's challenging.
It is. And so, like I stated, I did mortgages for 10 years.
Okay.
So part of the test, a lot of questions were, well, not a lot of it, but a percentage of it was from mortgages also. So I knew that part. The math, I kind of was like, come back to this.
I feel it now too. I'm not a good math person, but yeah.
But basically, just so I took it the first time, I did fail. I took it the second time, and I kind of was just becoming familiar with the questions, the way the test is set up. I took it third time. I'm not ashamed. I passed. Okay. But that just came from the first time just kind of get my feet wet. The second time get in the door, and the third time just bust the door open I gotta do it.
So you was trying to understand the first and the second was kind of okay, this is practice. I'm trying to see how this stuff is going to be laid out. Okay.
So so I got it. So I'm doing real estate. So yes, and I tell people, don't get discouraged when you take it the first time. You don't. Some people pass the first time.
Yeah.
Their first try, they'll go in and ace it. But I tell people that don't determine how you're gonna do in real estate. I mean, even if you take it 4 or 5 times, that don't determine. I mean, I know people have taken it multiple times, and they go out and they are top producers.
Okay.
So I just say it's almost like just don't give up. If you're really passionate about, just heard God telling me I had no other choice but to do this. And I didn't at the time knew what he was trying to tell me because I was so busy with family, husband, life just happening until he sat me down when I was doing my 9 to 5 when COVID got really, really busy.
Okay.
And I had like 56 long trying to process. I was a mortgage processor.
Okay.
And so when God was like, you finna go into ministry, I was like, in the busiest time of my life and my job, I'm gonna like go into what? So yes, but.
So are you ever nervous? Like, I know I've read stories like for years and like even in the present, like, real estate agents, like, things happening, like, you go in to show a house and certain things like that. So how do you like, tackle the fear or doubt and like, just having faith and knowing that God's going to protect you while you're out doing what you do?
Good question. And so when I first started doing real estate, that was because my sister had sent me something. She was like, hey, this realtor was, taken advantage of and hauled off by a truck or whatever. So, my whole family was just like terrified that I was going into real estate. But then also they know that I'm very, how can I put it? I mean, I have also book sense, but I also have street sense. And I will attend like the through EXP, I will attend the safety classes and things like that. But just for me, when I get a client, I think buyer's consultations was one of that avenue that I can, when I meet the client, I can bring them into the office and have them sit in front of me. And then I can get them qualified. So we have, their social security, their date of birth, when you're doing qualifications and things like that. I was never really like just anxious to go and meet someone at a house that just called me on the phone. So my business was set up a little different because I got to make it back home. And so, and I tell any realtor, if you don't know them, don't go. Do the buyer's consultation, bring them in, get their IDs, get their pre-approved, like with you guys, I was able, it was mutual, so that was different because you get, people come in and you like, okay, yeah, what's your mom's name? What's your auntie's name? And then you start looking, you start getting on Facebook, you start, I tell people, I tell all the realtors, do your research. But with me, I'm blessed to be able to get referrals that people from other people that I have closed in the past, so that they go like, yeah, he worked here. I'm like, yep, he did, he worked there. And so, but I say never show a house alone. Far as if you go into an area, if you can bring another real estate agent or have someone in the car, great. Never go in the house and say I'm going to prep or stage the house, cut all the lights on by myself. No, we all go in at the same time. Even women, if you just walking with a male, never let that male walk behind you. Let him lead the way. Or stand at the front door, cut the lights on, tell them to go through, and you have any questions, come back and talk. So yes, it's just following those protocols. If it's something like fishy or you in your spirit or your gut, like, don't go.
Okay. And does real estate pull you away from your family, or do you have enough time to spend time with your family, like being a mother and like, spending the time with the kids and trying to teach them, like, whatever they learn, helping with homework?
Real estate has been truly a blessing in the ministry because what I was doing, I was getting my laptop, I had the baby, I was trying to balance, tell the kids, okay, love you, go out the door, I was just stuck at the computer, and like I said, I had so many files during COVID and even before COVID. Mortgages are, when you doing mortgages, it's kind of just, you have to be tuned because if you drop the ball or someone else dropped the ball, you drop the ball. And it's just like, because you gotta also think about like, they're also purchasing a home and they depend on you and the loan officer, whoever in the bank or in the organization for the financing. So you really have to be on your A game, So I was constantly doing this and just everything else around me was on fire, but I couldn't put it out. And I guess God had seen that when I went into this season where I was so fully distracted, the only way he was able to get my attention was through Lily, which is my baby. And to get my attention, you have to come through the kids sometimes, And so when COVID hit, Lily, she got sick for about 2 months and a half, and she was it was more of the side effects from COVID.
Yeah.
She was having like rashes and
Okay.
things like that, but I was still trying to work through that.
Okay.
Have my laptop, work through that. Until God was like, this is it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was so exhausted, I just fell asleep on the computer. I was just like, I woke back up, I was like, whoa, I got all these calls. They like, where are you at? But it wasn't a where are you at as where you are mentally.
Yeah.
How are you doing? How are you dealing with this?
Yeah.
It was just where you at for
this thing you're supposed to be doing.
Yes.
You work.
And so God spoke through those messages to me. He was like, you know, where are you at?
Yeah.
Where are you?
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm here, but I'm not here.
Yeah.
He said, well, you got to get to where I want you to be.
Yeah.
You got to take them your laptop. And I'm like, and I know this voice, you know, it's like no other.
Yeah.
And he said, you got to take my laptop. I'm like, okay, I'm going to take my laptop. Took the laptop. I'm like, what you want me to do now?
Yeah.
And he gave me clear instructions. Go.
Yeah.
I got to let you do ministry. You got to do ministry. You going to do ministry.
Yeah.
And so he led me out in the journey. And I was like, okay, how do I build my business? How do... He had already set the foundation, already had the plan. I just had to go.
Yeah.
Follow those clear instructions like, hey, I need you at this office. I need you there. I need you, you know. And I did. At first, I was like, no, I'm not doing that. And he was like, okay. And so, you know, dropped the baby off, went to the office, joined the team, and I just got to it. And, you know, each place that he placed me, I pick up something, move on, pick up something to move on. And to this day, I'm still, even by relocating and doing real estate here in Alabama and also in Georgia, I'm still able to run my business.
Yeah.
And run it in a way that by word of mouth, going out and just, you know, talking to someone. One day, he sent me in Lowe's, and I'm like, why am I going to Lowe's? And he was like, I just need you to smile. I'm like, okay, I'll smile, okay. But it was a guy, and he was having a bad day. I didn't know. But he allowed me time to actually truly go and do ministry.
Yeah.
Because I now have time. I'm not tied to a desk or a computer or, you know, someone saying I'm not coming in. And, you know, just I'm not tied to that stuff. So I was able to go, and he needed just, good morning.
Yeah.
How are you doing? You know, it's okay.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow. He said, some days that's all I want you to do.
Yeah.
You know, and it wasn't more about selling a house, showing a house, posting. You know, it was truly about helping the people of God.
Yeah, being obedient.
Being obedient.
So how important is it for you to be obedient to God? Like, speak on that so that other people will know.
It's very, very important. Being obedient, it opened up other doors. I know people say, you know, they speak about sacrifice, but when you're obedient to that voice and you're obedient to God, you have to sacrifice. You don't have to sacrifice anything.
Yeah.
Because with him, he owns it all.
Yeah.
What do you have to sacrifice when you're just like kids? If you be obedient, and I say, okay, go to school and do what you're supposed to do, you know, you don't have to worry about your finances, you off in school. Just you open up all the doors. They're saying like, oh, I got a car, new car. You know, God does the same thing, you know. And so he really, I mean, that's how, at this point in my life, I learned that just not being so distracted and trying to be close and closer to that voice that have allowed me to open up other doors in my life, just not in real estate, but in my ministry, my husband's ministry, you know, because sometimes we have to feed off each other. Yeah. When if he's down, I'm down. We ain't good for the kingdom.
That's true.
And so I have to yield, you know, and sometimes be like, because I can't be like, you the head. What do I do next?
I was about to get to that because I was just about to ask, like, most of the time, like, you know, in ministry or, like, you know, without it being in ministry, but just husband and wife, and, like, you know, a lot of people just are always believing that the woman is just supposed to just be quiet and just, you know, just sit there or whatever, but speak on that.
Yes.
How do you tackle those moments? Because, like, you know, it's important for women to speak.
Yes.
And, it's important to be submissive, but it's also important to help that person grow. So
it is, because I feel that as women, God give us that spirit of discernment. A little bit more, we can tap into it, you know, because like my husband, he more passionate about, the people, you know what I'm saying? So sometimes he don't see that. If I'm not saying that someone is coming a little bit more to not say get over, but just, you pull it a little bit harder than usual.
Mm-hmm.
So I can kind of say, well, I feel that maybe, pray about it, but just don't be so into it, because that take away from your focus on what you need to be doing. And so as women, I just feel that we have that discernment, even for our kids, you know, the babies and things like that. Like we can say like, oh, make sure you have buckle her up or do it this way, because sometimes they just going, they don't, they're not thinking. So I feel that like our discernment really, really saved them from a lot of things, and God give women that just, and in that nurturing, you know what I'm saying, to the kids, and it's just, I feel that woman power that I mean, we're entitled to balance things out. And I feel that, even through prayer, sometimes even when they are all in the house sleep, I go and I'll touch and pray over them. I touch and pray over my husband. I touch and pray over my kids, you know, because we have to also be a covering. We have to let the umbrella up and, like everybody get under here. So I feel like that's not lean, but we help and lead. And so I think that's very important.
So you think the women could be a covering, or because I thought the men, like, I'm saying, like everybody gets those things misconstrued. So I'm not going to change it. But how did you all get to the point where you're able to kind of stand on your own as of, okay, so this is what I'm going to do, without having to fight about it? You know what I'm saying? Like, certain people can't get to that point.
And then also, I believe in the village also. Like my father-in-law, he's very spiritually grounded. So my husband has someone that he can, go back to when he needs to be reminded also. And his pastor, our Pastor Sellers. So he's good with, and that's why I say, like, the umbrella sometimes can be, a little bit wrong. Having other people, other leadership that you can fall back on. Because when you go into ministry, that's when the devil really comes attacking. And that's why I would say, like, with one with covering. So God forbid if something was to happen that my husband, he couldn't, just be able to be there like he needed to be. And it just don't have to be like as far as health or anything. I mean, it could be mentally, so all us deal with stuff mentally.
So you're saying covering in prayer.
Yes, covering in prayer, stepping up, you know. We both can't be distracted, at the same time. And I can't just be saying like, okay, you're supposed to leave, hurry up, I think we that's what we got to jump in there and like, hey, look, it's okay, because he needs to be, that helped me. And that's it. It's connecting that helped me, because, it's God, and then he's leading, and you're following, and the kid, it trickles down. But when the head is, can't be the head for whatever reason, because who to say that, you in a position to truly purely lead, like, because we all fall short, and sometimes you might be like this, I need to come and get you back up and help you get back up. So, but I would never just sit there, because I'm very outspoken anyway. Or even when it comes to God, like when he tells me something, like, look, this is what God is telling me, like, let's go. And but what I am thankful for, and he never knock what I'm telling him.
That's good.
He listens. We have to yield to each other.
That shows that love and that respect. So he's loving you, and you're respecting him because he's loving you.
Right. He is. Most time he don't believe in competition. So most time he's like, okay, I'm thankful for that. Yes.
And so how do you spend time alone, like, just to get by yourself? How are you able to do that when you have children and a husband? Like, you have your self-care moments and like, just mentally.
Most times I try to like spar. I'm by myself, but then Lily now, she want to go to the hair nails polish. Sometimes like when during the week, it's more getting to the office. I go into the office, the real estate office, and but I'm around other women and things like that. Or sometimes, just it was just going across to the gym and exercising, or taking a walk, things like that. So, that also, you have to find that balance for yourself to be there for others. Because you don't because also as a real estate agent, I call it my ministry. I set up that, This is ministry. So people is always reaching out to me, about, hey Brittney, my credit, hey Brittney, this, where's you think we're gonna make it? They really truly depending on me to make it happen. So sometimes I just have to also step away from that, and find that balance. Okay, Monday I'm gonna take calls. Tuesday I'm not taking calls. Wednesday I might do my showings. Thursday I'm gonna follow back up and see what is going on, with everybody. And Friday I'm out of the mix.
Okay. So, and do you do activities like with the children? So I know they do sports and different things.
Matthew, he plays baseball, football. Wow. Maria, she basically that's the 15-year-old pageants. Lily, she's for the start dance. So, but right now we more focused on Matthew because his sports roll around often. So, but I try to balance. But like I said, with real estate, it have truly blessed me that I'm able to be here at appointments, be here in the school and things like that. Then when my husband get off work, he jump in with the boy and be able to take him to practice. Yeah, so it most definitely have to be that balance.
And so, like, what is your advice to other women, like, who's struggling to find that balance in marriage or with their work, and they have so many different things that they're trying to do?
Yes.
What advice can you give them to help them?
Take it to God and say, God, use me where you see fit, where I need to be. Because where I wasn't where God wanted me to be. I was only had to go there for a season. And I learned that I was only there for a season when I was trying to hold on. My sister, which is now my friend, I believe God sent me in there for her. And then he sent me out when he knew that it was time for me to go somewhere else. And to this day, we are still close in relationship. I can call her, she call me anytime. But he revealed that I was only there for that season. So I would say when God wants you out, come on out. Don't be there for season after season after season when you're only there for a season. Don't look at the earnings. Don't look at the pay, because when you're coming out, and I say this, and I joke about it, I tell God, you could take me away from my salary and do what? And I'm like a paycheck for me to homeless. He told me not to worry about those. Now I'd be like, okay, God, come on, we close, But he still meet my needs. He still meet me and my family where we need to be. And so I just say, you tell God to place you where you're supposed to be, that he can use you for his kingdom and for his glory.
And so if people wanted to reach you as their realtor, how can they contact you?
So you can reach me. My phone number is 205-835-7645. I also can be reached by email as sold, SOLD, by BY, Brittney, BRITTNEY, Rivers, RIVERS @gmail.com. Also, you can find me on sites as Brittneyjacksonrivers at realtor.com. Brittneyjacksonrivers, you can Google me. I can come up. You'll see my reviews. So I'm out there. Google me.
Thank y'all for staying tuned. We are going to end this here. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Hey y'all, thanks for watching. Brittney Jackson Rivers is an amazing realtor dedicated to meeting her clients' needs. Yes, I know this because she found our home and she's ready to assist you or someone you know. So make sure you share this video, okay? Her contact information is listed in the description box. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Talk to you next time. Bye.